So today, we're going to head high into the Himalayas. Why? Because we're going to uncover what a single, humble dish from the Kingdom of Bhutan can teach the entire modern food industry. Seriously. It's a story about chilies, cheese, and some really powerful lessons in empathy, tradition, and innovation. Let's get into it.
This quote really sets the stage for our whole journey today. It says, "Cuisine is more than taste. It is an open door to cultures, stories, and emotions." It's this beautiful reminder that every plate has a purpose that goes way beyond just flavor. It's about connecting to something so much bigger.
To really get this, we're going to follow the story of a Bhutanese teenager named Kiba. She's learning to master her country's national dish, datshi. Now, at its heart, it's a pretty simple mix of chilies and cheese. But as you're about to see, that simplicity is, well, it's deceiving. Kiba's journey is going to be our guide today.
All right, so our first lesson, it comes directly from the dish itself. It's a lesson on the plate, and it's what datshi can teach us before we even take a single bite. Okay, so here's where we see the central paradox of this dish. If you were to travel all across Bhutan, you'd find a ton of different versions. Some are light, almost soupy, while others are incredibly rich and thick. And the surprising part? They are all considered perfectly authentic. There isn't just one correct way to make it. So, the lesson here is absolutely crucial. Authenticity isn't about being rigid and uniform. It's all about variation. That search for the one single perfect recipe, it's a dead end. The real magic is in celebrating all the different ways it can be made, where every family's version tells its own little story. So, how do you actually apply this in a professional kitchen? Well, instead of just one house special, what if you offered variations? You could have a classic, a vegan version, and maybe one that features some unique local ingredients. You could even host workshops where chefs from different backgrounds share their take on a classic dish. It's all about embracing that variety. Okay, on to our second lesson, understanding your customers. Now we're shifting the focus from the plate to the people who are actually enjoying it, because at the end of the day, it's all about creating that deep connection. The key tool we need here is something called ethnography. Now I know, that might sound a little academic, but it's incredibly practical. It's not just about watching people from a distance. It's the art of really understanding a culture by immersing yourself in it, by actually participating. This means you have to go way beyond just surveys and data points. To truly get what your customers want, you need to understand their world, their habits, their desires. You literally have to step into their shoes and see the whole dining experience from their point of view.
So how do you actually do this? You could host special dinners just to learn how your customers eat at home. You can organize focus groups to get that honest, direct feedback. And this is a big one. You can offer customizable options on your menu. It shows you're listening and adapting, and that builds incredible loyalty.
Our third lesson turns the focus inward. It's all about transmitting your knowledge. This is about preserving and passing on the craft, the heritage, the very soul of your cuisine, from one generation of chefs to the next. Let's go back to Kiba for a second. In her world, recipes aren't just a list of instructions written in a book. Nope. They are a living, breathing heritage, a treasure that's passed down from grandmother to mother to daughter. The kitchen becomes this amazing classroom where the past and the present connect. For a modern restaurant, this means you've got to create systems to pass on that knowledge. Think about a formal mentorship program where your experienced chefs can guide the next generation. That's invaluable. And putting together a house recipe book? It doesn't just standardize dishes, it preserves your culinary identity for years to come.
But here's the thing. Tradition doesn't have to feel old-fashioned. Today we have all these amazing modern tools we can use to tell these ancient stories in new and really compelling ways. Just think about it for a second. A simple QR code on your menu could link to a video that shows the farmer who grew your vegetables, or maybe the story behind a family recipe. All of a sudden, a meal isn't just food anymore. It's this rich, transparent experience that connects the diner to the entire story.
Okay, lesson number 4. This is where we start to pull all these threads together to create a truly memorable experience. How do you combine that cultural understanding, your culinary heritage, and modern tools to make something unforgettable?
The key is to ask yourself this one simple but really profound question. How can a dish do more than just taste good? How can it actually tell a story?
You do it by creating a whole narrative experience right there on the plate. Just imagine a dessert that represents a sunrise. You could use changing colors and textures to evoke that feeling of a new day. You're not just eating sugar and fruit anymore, you're experiencing a moment, a little piece of art. And you can bring this to life in so many ways. You could host an immersive event where guests actually help prepare a course. You could add a short, fun anecdote about a dish's origin right there on the menu. And of course, pay attention to the plating, the colors, the shapes, even the sounds, to turn every single meal into a multi-sensory story.
And that brings us to our conclusion, which is really all about your story. We've journeyed from a small kitchen in Bhutan all the way to the forefront of the global restaurant industry, and this final lesson is what brings it all home.
The ultimate takeaway is this: cuisine is never, ever just about recipes. It's a living, breathing thing that's made of human connection, respect for tradition, a deep sense of empathy for your guests, and a constant, restless drive for innovation. That is the true heart of hospitality.
So that leaves us with one final question to think about. Whether you're a professional chef or a home cook. And you, what story will your next dish tell?